He had been writing the email for 47 minutes. It was 3 sentences long. He just wanted to ask his manager if he could present his idea at the next team meeting. That was it. 3 sentences. A simple ask from someone who had been at the company for 4 years. But he had rewritten it 11 times, changed the tone, softened it, made it smaller, added a disclaimer at the end apologizing in advance if the idea was not good enough. Then he closed the laptop without sending it. He told himself he would send it tomorrow. He did not send it tomorrow. He never sent it. 6 months later, a colleague pitched almost the exact same idea. Got the promotion, got the recognition, got everything, and he sat there in that meeting watching it happen and told himself he simply was not ready. He was ready. He was just terrified of one thing, that someone important would look at him and decide he was not enough. Fear of rejection is one of the most universal human experiences and one of the most quietly destructive. It stops people from applying for jobs they are qualified for, from saying how they feel to someone they love, from putting their work into the world, from asking for what they need, from taking up the space they deserve. And the most painful part is that most people believe it is a personal weakness, a confidence problem, something wrong specifically with them. It is not. It is neuroscience. And once you understand what is actually happening in your brain, when rejection feels threatening, the fear does not disappear, but it loses its grip. In this video, we break down the science of why rejection hurts the way it does, why some people feel it far more intensely than others, what it is doing to the decisions you make every single day, and how to stop letting it run your life. Let's get into it. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at University of California, Los Angeles conducted an experiment that changed how we understand social pain forever. She placed participants in a brain scanner and had them play a simple computer game called Cyberball, a virtual ball tossing game with 2 other players. What the participants did not know was that the other players were not real. They were programmed. And at a certain point in the game, the programmed players simply stopped throwing the ball to the participant. They were excluded, left out, rejected by a computer program in a game that did not matter, with strangers they would never meet. And their brains lit up in the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula, the same regions that activate when we experience physical pain. Being left out of a meaningless computer game produced measurable brain activity identical to physical injury. This was not a metaphor. The research, later replicated across dozens of studies and cultures, confirmed what Eisenberger had suspected. Social pain and physical pain share the same neural hardware. The brain processes rejection, real rejection, imagined rejection, even observed rejection using the same system it uses to process a broken bone. This is why rejection hurts. Not because you are weak, not because you are too sensitive, because you are human and your brain was built to treat social exclusion as a physical emergency. Evolutionary psychologist Mark Leary at Duke University explains why. For our ancestors, being rejected from the group was not a social inconvenience, it was a death sentence. The tribe provided food, protection, warmth, reproduction. Exclusion meant exposure. Exposure meant death. Your brain has not received the update that says you can survive alone in 2026. It still treats every rejection like a threat to your survival. Every single one. So what does fear of rejection actually look like in everyday life? Because it rarely announces itself as fear, it disguises itself as something else entirely. You might recognize it as perfectionism. The person who never submits the application, never publishes the work, never shares the idea until it is perfect. And because perfect never arrives, neither does the application, the work, or the idea. Perfectionism is not high standards. It is fear of rejection wearing a respectable coat. You might recognize it as people-pleasing. The inability to say no, to disagree, to disappoint. The person who reshapes themselves in every social situation to match what they sense the other person wants because being liked feels safer than being real. Every version of themselves they perform is a preemptive defense against being found unacceptable. You might recognize it as avoidance of intimacy. The person who keeps relationships at a comfortable surface level, who deflects vulnerability with humor, who lets people get close but not quite close enough to see the parts they believe would cause someone to leave. Or you might recognize it in the decisions never made, the job never applied for, the feeling never expressed, the boundary never set, the conversation never started. a whole architecture of unlived life built around the single unbearable possibility that someone important might say no. The cruelest thing about fear of rejection is this: it works. It prevents rejection remarkably effectively. It just also prevents everything else, every connection, every opportunity, every version of your life that requires someone to first see you and decide you are worth something. You cannot protect yourself from rejection without also protecting yourself from everything rejection stands between you and. Here is the part most people never reach, and it is the piece that finally makes the whole picture make sense. Not everyone experiences fear of rejection with the same intensity. Some people feel a mild sting and move on. Others feel it like a full-body emergency that takes days to recover from. The difference is not willpower. It is not resilience. It is a specific psychological trait called rejection sensitivity, first identified and studied by psychologist Geraldine Downey at Columbia University. Rejection-sensitive individuals do not just fear rejection more. Their brains are literally primed to anticipate it. They scan social situations for early warning signs of disapproval with the same hypervigilance we discussed in anxious attachment. A slightly cool tone in a message, a shorter reply than usual, a pause before someone answers. These signals, neutral to most people, register as threat to the rejection-sensitive brain. And here is where this connects to everything else this channel covers. Rejection sensitivity almost always has an origin. Downey's research found it develops most strongly in children who experienced repeated criticism, conditional love, or unpredictable emotional responses from caregivers. Children who learned through experience that approval was uncertain and withdrawal of love was possible. That child grew up, but the threat detection system they built in childhood did not stand down. Neuroscientist David Lieberman at University of California, Los Angeles found that people with high rejection sensitivity show measurably higher activity in the brain's threat and pain centers in response to even ambiguous social signals that a non-rejection sensitive brain does not even register as relevant. And here's the myth this completely dismantles, that fear of rejection is about low self-esteem or lack of confidence. Some of the most quietly confident people carry the deepest fear of rejection, because it was never about their confidence in themselves. It was about their confidence in other people's willingness to stay. Here is the reframe that changes the whole conversation. Most people try to overcome fear of rejection by seeking more certainty, more reassurance, more evidence that they will be accepted before they take the risk. But certainty is not available. It never was. And waiting for it is just a slower, more socially acceptable version of closing the laptop. Here is what the research actually shows. Psychologist Guy Winch, who spent years studying rejection and emotional pain, found that the fear of rejection is almost always more painful than the rejection itself. The anticipation, the imagined version. The story the brain constructs about what rejection will mean and feel like is consistently, measurably worse than the reality of the actual rejection when it comes, which means most people are enduring the worst version of rejection, the imagined one, every single day, without any of the information, the closure, or the growth that comes from the real thing. You are already experiencing rejection. You are just experiencing it alone, in your head, in advance for things that have not happened yet and may never happen. The rejection you are avoiding is less painful than the one you are already living. The question is not whether you can handle being rejected. You are already handling something harder than that every single day. Here is what the research says actually works not to eliminate fear of rejection, but to stop letting it make decisions for you. Number 1. Name the imagined rejection specifically. When you feel yourself pulling back from a risk, write down exactly what you are afraid will happen. Not, they will reject me, be precise. I am afraid that if I send this email, my manager will think my idea is not good enough and lose respect for me. That level of specificity does two things. It activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational brain, rather than the amygdala, and it almost always reveals that the imagined rejection is far more catastrophic than anything that would realistically happen. Number 2. Practice micro-rejections deliberately. This sounds brutal, but it is one of the most evidence-backed approaches in rejection therapy. Start small. Ask for a discount you probably will not get. Pitch an idea you think might be turned down. Apply for something slightly out of reach. Each small rejection that you survive rewires the brain's threat assessment. It accumulates evidence that rejection is survivable because your nervous system only believes what it has experienced, not what you tell it. Number 3. Separate rejection of the thing from rejection of you. A rejection of your idea is not a rejection of your worth. A rejection of your feelings is not a verdict on your value. A rejection of your application is not a statement about who you are. The brain conflates these automatically. Your job is to manually, deliberately, repeatedly separate them. The thing was rejected. You were not. Fear of rejection does not mean you are fragile. It means you care. It means connection matters to you. It means you understand somewhere underneath all the avoidance that being truly seen by another person is one of the most valuable things a human life contains. The goal is not to stop caring about that. The goal is to stop letting the fear of losing it prevent you from ever reaching for it. Now I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually answer this one. In the comments below, what is the one thing you have been putting off because of fear of rejection? The email you have not sent. The thing you have not said. The risk you have not taken. Name it. Just name it. Because naming it here, in front of strangers who understand exactly what this feels like, is the closest thing to sending it that you can do right now. I read every single comment. And this comment section is going to be one of the most honest ones this channel has ever had. Subscribe, and next week we are going into something that lives right next to everything we talked about today. Imposter syndrome, why the most capable people are convinced they are frauds. And why success makes it worse, not better. See you then.